As you can obviously see, it is I, Aiden, here for another review here on the Daily Movie Critics on Monday, which is always unfortunate because not only do you have to watch my review, but you have to go back to work. The weekend's over. Soon you're going to have to be going back to school. But today's review is of the Planet of the Apes. Now, oddly enough, despite having owned this movie on DVD for over a year now, never seen it. Never seen the 1968 original, never seen this one. But with the new one coming out, The Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I don't know if it's supposed to be a sequel of this or like a prequel, obviously, but it takes place before this movie. But I don't know how it works. But with that coming out, I wanted to get familiar with the Planet of the Apes movie. Now, of course, majority of the people know what the concept of the Planet of the Apes is. It's a planet with apes on it. It's a little bit more detailed than that. You can go. It's a little bit more complicated. Not complicated, but you get what I'm saying. Mark Wahlberg is an astronaut. He's on a space station. He's been on there for 2 years. They're doing this big. I don't even know what they're doing. They don't really explain it. It's just a bunch of other people, and they have all sorts of apes on board. Chimpanzees, I think they are. I'm no ape expert, monkey expert. I don't work at a zoo, so unfortunately I don't know exactly what every ape is. But he has a monkey or an ape go out. A chimpanzee goes out in a pod to check something out or something. I don't really know why they use apes. I guess safer because it's like animal testing. But Mark Wahlberg, the thing disappears and it doesn't come back. Goes off track. They lose it on the radar. So Mark Wahlberg wants to go out and get it because that's just what Mark Wahlberg does. He loves animals. He talks to animals. But yeah, he goes out after him. And while he is floating away in his little pod, there's this flash and there's this big storm in space, and then he goes through this big like purple cloud thing, and then there's light flashing and stuff, and then he crashes on a planet. Now this planet is not like any other planet. It's uncharted for one, and it's not mostly populated by humans. It is run by apes. Apes are like humans, and humans are the slaves. This is basically the general concept of the film. That's what it's all about. That's what the original is about, I believe. I won't be comparing... Cat, please go away. I won't be comparing the 1968 film with this one because I've never seen it. I don't really know what's the same and what's different. Maybe it would have been good for me to watch both and be able to compare them. But I'll just be doing this one. It's somewhat interesting. Now I like how there's not much CGI. There is, of course, but I think that a lot of makeup that was done on the people who are apes, which I think is way better because in the previews for this new one, you could tell that it's CGI. The monkey just looks like it just looks so fake and jumping around. The monkeys in this one do look pretty real. Aside from, I feel like the females don't look very ape-like. They don't look like real apes, I should say. They look fake, and they all look the same too. You can't tell the female apes apart. The guys you can kind of tell because they do a good job with that. There's a guy named General Thade. He's like the leader of the apes, of the army and stuff. And he's not an orangutan. He's a chimpanzee, I think. Yeah, he's a chimpanzee. And then the other guys are gorillas. Like that's obviously a gorilla there on the cover. And then that's General Thade there on the back of Mark Wahlberg, and he's a chimpanzee. So they kind of do a good job of you being able to differentiate them and pick them out, like the main ones out, but there's a lot of just like random supporting characters where you're just like, okay, which guy is that again? Because a lot of them look the same, especially the gorillas. They all sort of look the same. But Mark Wahlberg has to kind of help the humans that are slaves, and he has to figure out how to get back to his space station. It's the year 2029 that this movie takes place in. The movie is from 2001 or 2002. It's directed by Tim Burton, and it's got a bunch of other people. It's kind of like what movie is it? Avatar, where you can kind of tell who the actors are. Like they look like the actors despite looking like gorillas. Like there's a few people that, like Tim Roth plays General Thade, the chimpanzee. But they do a pretty good job with looking like apes, like I previously mentioned. There's a thing I don't like where there's some the parts with the gorillas. Their acting just seems so bad. I don't know what it is. Like they're quickly going door to door, looking for the humans. And there's one gorilla like, "No, I have not seen them." And he's just like, "What? Are you sure you're an actor? Are you sure you don't just suck?" But it is good to familiarize yourself with this film before going to see the new one. I'm sure that'll be good for me. I'm hoping to go see that one. I don't know how similar it will be, or how really they'll tie the two in, if at all, because for all we know, they're just kind of revamping the series or rebooting it, as they like to say in the showbiz. There's really not all that to hate about this movie. There was what I previously mentioned, and then it's a bit long. There's a few parts where it's just downtime talking and unnecessary talking. Like there's some parts where that are necessary to establish a connection between characters or understand the characters or what's going on. But there are just some parts that are just so unnecessary. I won't give any specific examples, but mainly because I don't know the characters' names, but they suck. The parts are boring as shit. The movie is over 2 hours long, plus credits, so that's kind of boring. But overall, it's a good movie. I watched it last night, so that's kind of irrelevant to anything. This review's gone on long enough, so if you're planning on going to catch Rise of the Planet of the Apes, maybe check out Planet of the Apes. Check out the 1968 version if you want. Check out the sequels that they had. I don't even know how those went or what took place or what years they're from or what went on. I don't know. But this movie is good, so check it out. I mean, they do a pretty good job with it. It's a pretty interesting concept, apes ruling over humans, and there's a pretty cool end. It would have been nice if they had done a sequel. But maybe this movie will explain the ending. I'm hoping, really hoping, because when I was watching this movie, I was like, how does this first one take place? Because the first one takes place on Earth, or this new one takes place on Earth, yet this one takes place on an uncharted planet several years in the future. So I'm hoping this one will explain it. The ending kind of made me think that this new one will explain it, but if it doesn't, I'll be kind of pissed. Plus, Mark Wahlberg, hopefully maybe he'll make a special appearance in the new one. I don't know. It already came out this Friday, so check that out. It's all good. See you next week.